Hello everyone, I am Dr. Ravin Chaurasia, Associate Professor, Swami Vivekananda University, Sagar, presenting the topic UV spectroscopy. The topic involves in the instrumental methods of analysis in B Form 7 semester 701 and M Form modern analytical techniques MPH 101. Since it is the electronic spectroscopy, it involves the promotion of electrons from ground state to excited state. The UV radiation and electronic excitation. The difference in energy between molecular bonding, non-bonding, anti-bonding orbitals ranges from 125 to 650 kilojoule per mole. This energy corresponding to electromagnetic radiations in the vacuum region 1 to 180 nm and ultraviolet region 180 to 400 nm and visible region 400 to 800 nm of the spectrum. For comparison, recall the spectrum. This is violet color UV spectroscopy and visible, this is the color absorptions. The spectroscopic process. In the spectroscopy, the sample is irradiated with the broad spectrum of the UV radiation. If particular electronic transition matches the energy of a certain band of UV, it will be absorbed. The remaining UV light passes through the sample and is observed. From this residual radiation, a spectrum is obtained with gaps at these discrete energies. This is called an absorption spectrum. This is the diagram of the spectrum, and this gap of which shows the discrete energy, and this is called as absorption spectrum. Observed electronic transition. The lowest energy transition and most often observed by UV is typically that of an electron in the highest occupied molecular orbital HOMO to the lowest unoccupied molecular orbital LUMO. For any bond or pair of electrons in a molecule, the molecular orbitals are a mixture of the two contributing atomic orbitals. For every bonding orbitals created from this mixing sigma or pi electrons, there is a corresponding anti-bonding orbitals of symmetrically higher energy like sigma anti-bonding or pi anti-bonding electrons. The lowest energy occupied orbitals are typically the sigma, likewise the corresponding anti-bonding sigma anti-bonding orbitals is the highest energy. Pi orbitals are of somewhat high energy and their complementary anti-bonding orbitals somewhat lower in energy than sigma anti-bonding. Unshared pair like at the energy of the original atomic orbital, most often this energy is higher than pi or sigma. Since no bond is formed, there is no benefit in energy. This is the electronic observed transition. Here is a graphical representation of the energy level of electrons. The y-axis showing the energy and x-axis showing the electrons, the movement of electrons from ground state to excited state like sigma to sigma antibonding, pi to pi antibonding, n to sigma antibonding and n to pi antibonding. And the upper level is unoccupied level and the lower level is occupied level of orbitals. From the molecular orbital diagram, there are several possible electronic transitions that can occur, each of a different relative energy. This is the energy level diagram like sigma to sigma antibonding, for example alkanes, sigma to pi antibonding, for example carbonyl group, pi to pi antibonding, for example unsaturated compound, and n to sigma antibonding, for example oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur and halogens groups. And last one is N2 pi antibonding, for example, carbonyl group. Although the UV spectrum extends below 100 nm or high energy, oxygen in the atmosphere is not transparent below 200 nm. Special equipment to study vacuum or far UV is required. Routine organic UV spectra are typically collected from 200 to 800 nanometer. This limits the transitions that can be observed sigma to sigma antibonding, for example, alkanes, and the absorptions take place in 150 nm, and sigma to pi antibonding, for example, carbonyl group, and absorptions level is 170 nm. Pi to pi antibonding, for example, unsaturated compound, and the absorption 180 nanometer if conjugated. And N2 sigma antibonding, for example, oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur, halogens, the 190 nm, and N2 pi antibonding, for example, carbonyls, the absorption takes place in 300 nanometer. Not all transitions that are possible are observed. For an electron to transitions, certain quantum mechanical constraints apply. These are called selection rule. For example, an electron cannot change its spin quantum number during a transitions. These are forbidden transitions. Other examples include the number of electrons that can be excited at one time, symmetry properties of the molecule, and other one is symmetry of the electronic states. And the fourth, to further complicate matters, forbidden transitions are sometimes observed due to other factors, unlike IR or later NMR, where 3 may be upwards of 5 or more resolvable peaks from which to elucidate structural information. UV tends to give wide overlapping bands. It would seem that since the electronic energy level of a pure sample of molecule would be quantized, fine discrete bands would be observed for atomic spectra. This is the case if in molecule, when a bulk sample of molecule is observed, not all bonds, pair of electrons are in the same vibrational or rotational energy state. This effect will impact the wavelength at which a transition is observed, very similar to the effect of hydrogen bonding on the OH vibrational energy level in each sample. When these energy levels are superimposed, the effect can be readily explained. Any transitions has the possibility of being observed. This figure showing the wide overlapping of bands. Next, the instrumentation of UV spectra. The construction of a traditional UV visible spectrophotometer is very similar to an IR, as similar functions, sampling handling, radiation, detection, and output are required. Here is a simple schematic that covers most modern UV spectrometer. This is the UV visible source. When electromagnetic radiation passes through the monochromator, then sample rays come in for detector and the recorder will record the spectra. Two sources are required to scan the entire UV visible band: deuterium lamp, which cover the UV 200 to 330 nm, and tungsten lamp covers 330 to 800 nanometer. As with the dispersive IR, the lamps illuminate the entire band of UV or visible light. The monochromator, grating or prism gradually changes the smaller band of radiation sent to the beam of splitter. The beam splitter sends a separate band to a cell containing the sample solution and a reference solution. The detector measures the difference between the transmitted light through the sample versus the incident light and send this information to the recorder. As with dispersive IR, time is required to cover the entire UV visible band due to the mechanism of changing wavelength. A recent improvement is the diode array spectrophotometer. Here, a prism dispersion device breaks apart the full spectrum transmitted through the sample. Each individual band of UV is detected by an individual diode on a silicon wafer simultaneously. The obvious limitation is the size of the diode, so some loss of resolution over traditional instrument is observed. This is the polychromator, and this one shows the intranslate and dispersion the device, and this is the diode array. Sampling handling. Virtually all UV spectra are recorded solution phase. Cells can be made of plastic, glass or quartz. Only quartz is transparent in full of 200 to 700 nanometer range. Plastic and glass are only suitable for visible spectra. Concentration is empirically determined. A typical sample cell, commonly called as cuvette. Sampling handling. The solvent must be transparent in the region to be observed. The wavelength where a solvent is no longer transparent is referred to as the cutoff. Since spectra are only obtained up to 200 nm, solvents typically only need to lack conjugated pi systems or carbonyl group. Common solvents and their the cutoff value like acetonitrile 190 value and chloroform 240, cyclohexane 195, 1,4-dioxane 215, 95% ethanol 205, N-hexane 201, methanol 205, isooctane 195 and water 190. Additional solvent must preserve the fine structure where it is actually observed in UV where possible. Hydrogen bonding further complicates the effect of vibrational and rotational energy level on electronic transitions. Dipole-dipole interacts less, so the more non-polar the solvents, the better. There is not always possible. This is the simple spectra of the UV. The spectrum, the x-axis of the spectrum is in the wavelength 200 to 400 nm for UV and 200 to 800 for UV visible determinations. Due to the lack of any fine structures, spectra are rarely shown in their raw form. Rather, the peak maxima are simply reported as a numerical list of lambda max values and this is represented as lambda max. This is the simple example and this is showing the graph and lambda max is 206 nanometer. The y-axis of the spectrum is in absorbance, which is represented as capital A, and from the spectrometer point of view, absorbance is the inverse of transmittance, and capital A equal to log 10 I0 upon I. From an experimental point of view, three other considerations must be made. A longer path length through the sample will cause more UV light to be absorbed. This is the linear effect. The greater the concentration of sample, the more UV light will be absorbed. This is linear effect. And some electronic transitions are more effective at the absorption of photons than others. Molar absorptivity, which is represented as capital E, epsilon. This may vary by order of magnitude. These effects are combined into the Beer-Lambert's law and represented as capital A equal to E epsilon C I. For most, UV spectrometer would remain constant. Standard cells are typically 1 centimeter in path length. Concentration is typically varied depending on the strength of absorption observed or expected. Typically dilute like 0.001 molar. Molar absorptivity vary by order of magnitude. Values like 10 to the power 4 to 10 to the power 6 are termed as high intensity absorptions, and the values like 10 to the power 3 to 10 to the power 4 are termed as low intensity absorption. Values of 0 to 10 to the power 3 are the absorption of forbidden transitions. A is unitless. So, the unit of epsilon are centimeter inverse and are rarely expressed. Since path length and concentration effects can be easily factored out, absorbance simply becomes proportional to E epsilon, and y-axis is expressed as E directly as the logarithmic of E. This is some practical application of UV spectroscopy. The UV was the first organic spectral method. However, it is rarely used as primary method for structure determination. It is most useful in combination with NMR and IR data to elucidate unique electronic features that may be ambiguous in those methods. It can be used to assay the proper irradiation wavelength for photochemical experiments or the design of UV resistant paints and coatings. Chromophore. And what is chromophore? A functional group capable of having characteristic electronic transition is called a chromophore, like color loving. Remember, the electrons present in organic molecule are involved in covalent bond or lone pairs of electrons on atoms such as oxygen or nitrogen. Since similar functional groups will have electrons capable of discrete class of transitions, the characteristics energy of these energy is more representative of the functional group than the electrons themselves. Structural or electronic changes in the chromophore can be quantified and used to predict shifts in the observed electronic transitions. The examples of chromophore like organic chromophore alkanes only possess sigma bond and no lone pair of electrons. This is the example of sigma to sigma antibonding electronic excitations. The sigma bonds and the no lone pair of electrons show only the high energy sigma to sigma antibonding transition is observed in the UV. This transitional is destructive to the molecule, causing cleavage of the sigma bond. Alcohols, ethers, amine and sulfur compound. This is follows the sigma to sigma antibonding, and the transitions occurs from HOMO to LUMO. HOMO means highest occupied molecular orbital to the lowest unoccupied molecular orbital. In this case of simple aliphatic example of these compounds, the N to sigma antibonding is the most often observed transitions, like the alkanes sigma to sigma antibonding. It is most often at shorter wavelength than 200 nanometer. Alkenes and alkynes. So the pi to pi antibonding and the excitation like pi to pi antibonding. In the case of isolated example of these compound, pi to pi antibonding is observed at 175 to 170 nanometer respectively. This transition is of lower energy than sigma to sigma antibonding. It is still in the far UV. However, the transitional energy is sensitive to substitution. Carbonyl unsaturated systems incorporating nitrogen or oxygen can undergo N to pi antibonding transitions 285 nanometer in addition to pi antibonding, despite the fact this transition is forbidden by the selection rule. It is the most often observed and studied transitions for carbonyl. This transition is also sensitive to substituents on the carbonyl. Similar to alkenes and alkynes, non-substituted carbonyls undergo the pi to pi antibonding transitions in the vacuum UV 188 nanometer, sensitive to substitution effect. Carbonyl, which is the example of N to pi antibonding transitions and 285 nanometer, and pi to pi antibonding 188 nanometer. This is the electronic movement like pi to pi antibonding, and it has been determined from spectral studies that carbonyl oxygen more approximate sp rather than sp2, and transition committed for clarity. Substitution effect, the general, from our brief study of these general chromophore, only the weak N to pi antibonding transitions occurs in the routinely observed UV. The attachment of substituent group other than hydrogen can shift the energy of the transition. Substituents that increase the intensity and often wavelength of an absorption are called oxychrome, and the common oxychrome include alkyl, hydroxyl, alkoxy, amino group and the halogens. The substituents may have any of four effects on a chromophore. First one is bathochromic shift, second hypsochromic shift, third hyperchromic effect, and fourth hypochromic effect. And this is the graph showing the highest wavelength showing the bathochromic shift, which is known as red shift, and the lowest wavelength shift are known as blue shift, also called as hypsochromic shift. Hyperchromic effect an increase in intensity, and hypochromic effect a decrease in intensity. Conjugation, the most efficient means of bringing about a bathochromic and hyperchromic shift of an unsaturated chromophore. This is the example of beta carotene, which having the more than one ring, and the absorption takes place at 465 nanometer. The conjugation of alkene, the observed shift from conjugated imply that an increase in conjugation decrease the energy required for electronic excitation. From molecular orbital theory to atomic orbital, from two sp2 hybrid carbons combined to form molecular orbital and ethylene. This is the example of ethylene, and this one shows the molecular orbital of ethylene, and the energy goes to pi antibonding orbitals. Conjugation of alkene, this is the example of conjugation, and this is the energy level diagram of ethylene, butadiene, hexatriene or octatriene, and the lowest energy are equal to the longer wavelength. Alkenes, similarly the lone pair of electron on nitrogen, oxygen, sulfur and halogens can extend conjugated system like oxychrome. Here we create 3 molecular orbitals. This interaction is not as strong as that of a conjugated pi system. This is the energy level diagram of conjugated alkenes. Alkenes, methyl groups also causes a bathochromic shifts even though they are devoid of pi or n electrons. N means non-bonding electrons. This effect is thought to be what is termed hyperconjugation or sigma bond resonance. Resonance means shifting of an electrons from one place to another place, and this is the molecular orbital structure of alkenes, which is showing the electronic excitation of electrons. Generally, the visible spectroscopy, also known as color absorptions or color spectroscopy, and the portion of the electromagnetic spectrum from 400 to 800 nanometer is observed to humans, and we have the adaptation of seeing color at the expense of greater details. And this is the color level diagram. Like violet colors, the absorption takes place is 400 to 420 nanometer, and indigo 420 to 440 nanometer. Blue colors absorbs the 440 to 490 nanometer. Green color absorbs the 490 to 570 nanometer. Yellow color absorbs the 570 to 585 nanometer, orange 585 to 620 nanometer, and red and 620 to 780 nanometer. When white light passes through and is reflected by a surface and are absorbed or removed from the transmitted or reflected light respectively, and what is seen is the complementary colors, those that are not absorbed. This is the origin of the color wheel, which is showing the colors and the absorptions takes place. Organic compounds that are colored are typically those with extensively conjugated systems, typically more than 5, for example, beta carotene, and the absorptions level, the lambda max is 455 nanometer. In the far blue region of the spectrum, this is absorbed. The remaining light has the complementary color of orange. Likewise, the lycopene absorbed in 474 nanometer, and the color is indigo, and the lambda max for lycopene is 474 nanometer. In the near blue region of the spectrum, this is absorbed. The complement is now red. The lambda max for indigo is at 602 nanometer. In the orange region of the spectrum, this is absorbed. The complement is now indigo. One of the most common class of colored organic molecules like azo dye, N double bond N, this is the azo group, and from our discussion of dye substituted aromatic chromophore, the effect of opposite group is greater than the sum of the individual effect. More so on this heavily conjugated system, coincidentally, it is necessary for these to be opposite for the original synthetic preparations. Thank you.